Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Faculty Lounge today. We're glad you could stop by. On this Thursday afternoon, we have Justin Brooksby, the department manager here at the UEN Professional Development, and he's going to talk to us about one of the resources in the Pioneer Library. It's still in a trial right now, but I think you'll be interested to see the resources that are available here. It's called MyOn Books. Just a reminder, if you've got a question or a comment, we'd love to hear from you down in the chat room. And with that, I'm going to let Justin take it away.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. So we've had this trial for a little while now. It started towards the end of last year, and the trial is extended, so I'm happy to see that. Give everyone a little bit more time to look at what MyOn Books has to offer. So I just wanted to share a few things with you today about it. Just a little bit about what it is first. First of all, it's a digital library. There's about 4,000 books, and they're geared towards pre-K through 12th grade. And with MyOn Books, there's unlimited book access. So that is a little bit different than what most of us are used to, because, for example, if you go to the library, you want to check out a book. If someone already has it checked out, or if they only have 5 electronic copies to check out, you have to wait in line. And lots of times books that I've wanted to check out have very long lines, and I just kind of give up on wanting to read them. So that's what the unlimited book access means, that as many people can access the same book at the same time. It also opens a lot of different options as far as integrating it into your classroom. As far as you can assign the students to all read the same book at the same time if you like. Okay, so can you guys still see my screen? There we go. There it goes. It was a little slow. Okay, so the other thing about MyOn Books is that it is a collection. There's quite a significant number of nonfiction books in there, 70%. There's also Spanish or dual language books that are available, and then about 20% are high-low titles. So all the different texts vary in text complexity, and I will give you some examples of how you can find the book that would best meet your students' needs. And the other great thing about these ebooks is that there is naturally recorded audio on them, so it's not computer generated sound reading the book, but it's actually a real person that has read the book. So it models fluency. There's word and sentence highlighting so that students can follow along. And there's an embedded dictionary that if you need to look up a word or don't know what it means, you can click on that word to see what it is. And I'll show you all those things in just a second here. Okay, so why do I like digital books? There's a lot of discussion about digital books, whether they're better or not. There's pros and cons of both, but this is why I like them. And as a father, I have an 8-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter, and they really take to the digital books. One of the things I like to point out is that they're transportable. So you can see that kid looks pretty much like my kid and his car seat, so that's why I've got this picture. But they're transportable. You can pick up a paperback book and carry it with you in the car, but you could carry around multiple books with you in an ebook format in the car with you or in your house. Save trips to the library. Second part is they're accessible. Your child can easily sort through and find the books that interest them based on topic. Many books are interactive. Some of these in here you'll see have audio that goes with them. You can stop, play, rewind, fast forward. The unlimited access, which I mentioned to you, many people can read the same book at the same time. And the allure of tech. And what I mean by that is that for example, my son, if I give him a paperback book and he tries to read it, he just does not want to do it. But if I put that on an iPad, he's just super excited to read that book. So I don't know what that is, but I just call it the allure of tech. Okay. So like Tim mentioned, there's a trial opportunity. It's been extended through March 14th this year, and you can access it through Pioneer Library. And then you have unlimited access to it's just under 4,000, I took a count, books. And the books that you can see in the trial are actually pre-K through 8th. So I mentioned before that there are other books through 12th grade. Those are not included in the trial. And I'll show you a little bit more about how you can see what those other titles are. I'm going to flip over to my desktop to just show you how you can access this real quick. Okay, so if you just go to uen.org, come to the home page. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can access Pioneer Library and just click on that here. And then this will bring you into the Pioneer Library. And if you scroll down to the bottom here on the right-hand side, you can see that there's the product trial. And you can just click on this link right here. And this page will give you details about the trial. I know that's kind of hard to read on your screen, but it'll give you all the details here. Most important, what you're going to need to know is the school name, which is Utah Reads, Utah Department of Education. And then the password, username and password is read. So pretty simple, but I forgot it once and I couldn't remember. Also, I'm going to point out these MyOn Book teacher tips are great. I'm going to share a lot of those things with you during this faculty lounge, but just so you know, you can go here. And then there's some of the highlights that I mentioned previously that you can kind of see right here. Okay. So this is where you access it, and once you have the username and password, you can click on here and go into the login page. Okay. All right, I'm going to flip back to my PowerPoint here. Okay. So as I mentioned, there's some limitations to the trial. So if you go in and test this out, you're not really going to see all that it has to offer. You are going to see the selection of books, but here's some of the things that you are not going to see. But I think they're worth noting because sometimes, you know, when you start looking at something, you'll say, well, it doesn't do this, and I wish it did this. Well, here's some things that it does do, but just not in the trial version. So first of all, in this trial, all the students are reading on a shared account during the pilot. So you notice everyone has the same login. It's just one big student account. So that individualized experience has been deactivated. You're not going to see that. So anything that relates to that individualized experience, you're not really going to see. So some of those are, you know, a recommended book list for each student. So when a student first would set up an account, it kind of goes through, you know, kind of like Netflix, if you use that before, it asks you what kind of movies you like to see and, you know, rate them and things like that. And so it'll individualize a book list for the student based on their interest and Lexile. There's also placement and benchmark assessments that you can do within the program. There's access to in-book comprehension quizzes. And you can do student written responses after the book. And there's also kind of a student dashboard. And on the back-end administrator side, there you can track time that students spend reading in the MyOn Books. So that can be very helpful from a teacher standpoint, providing that information to parents. So those are some of the limitations with the trial I just thought you should be aware of. The other thing I kind of mentioned already is that the digital books are on trial. So all you're seeing is the capstone imprints. There's additional tiles available through grades pre-K through 12. And this link right here will take you to what some of those are. Let's see if I'm going to click on that and I'm going to share my screen so you can see that. Okay. So this is what the link will take you to. So here's the other publishers that you might be interested in, and you can highlight over these and see a little bit about each publisher. I was kind of excited to see this Disney publishing in there. If you click on the Disney book list, you can see which books were in there. So all these are available and as kind of an extra add-on pack to this. So, okay, let me go back to my PowerPoint here. Okay. So you're probably asking what happens after the trial, what's going to happen. So UEN and the State Office of Education are in very preliminary discussions about having consortium level price for individual districts and charter schools. So that is basically all that I can tell you about that right now. There is a link to contact Rick Gaisford on the UEN site that I showed you at the beginning if you have additional questions or if you feel that this is something that you're very interested in for your district or your charter school. So, okay, now I'm going to give you a little demonstration of the product. Not this kind of demonstration. I like this one because the sign was, "I'm not real happy about this." So anyways, I'm going to take you back to my screen and just kind of show you around so you can kind of see what the product looks like.
Hello everyone. Justin just got booted out. It wasn't me who did it, and he is on his way back in. So just give him a second to wind things back up, and he'll get on with his presentation. Okay, there he is. Let me make him a host again, and it should just take him a second. I think he was in the process of sharing his screen, if I remember.
Okay, do you have audio back? Looks like it. Okay, sorry about that. I think the computer was tired of me going back and forth sharing stuff with you guys. Okay, so when you click on the login at myon.com, you're going to be asked to put in the school name. If you just start typing out Utah, it's going to find the account right here. This one says Utah Reads. Okay, and then we'll just put in the password read and the username. Okay, so this is the web-based version. There's also mobile versions, which I'll show you a little bit in just a second here. But I wanted to show you first of all different ways you can search for books in here. You know, it's all about finding the right book for kids, finding something that they're interested in. So the first type of search you can do is called a visual search right here, and that really is just searching by categories. So you have these different genres. You can have science, language arts, social studies, all these different areas that you can find books on. When you go into the area, you have kind of subgenres based on that. So these are, you know, you can find picture books, scary stories. These are the ones my son loves, these scary stories. Science fiction, different things like that. If you went into science, you could see different types of sciences, physical science, earth and space science. So a lot of different options here. So that's the visual search. You can also do a text search if you know a little bit more of what you're looking for. And the nice thing about this is it has the predictive text ability built into it. So if I was interested in looking for a book about ducks, I could just type the word in duck here, And then I'm going to get a list of books that have the title Duck in them. This is probably the one for me, Duck Goes Potty, Duck Hunting for Kids. So we could find the one that we wanted and click OK and find that book. Okay. Another example would be if we were interested in the legend of Sleepy Hollow, we could start typing in the legend, and we've got lots of different legend stories here that we could find. My son's scared of Bigfoot, so I won't have him read that. But here would be the legend of Sleepy Hollow. I can click on OK and find that book in here. Okay. Yeah, and Mitchell's mentioning that there is a survey to fill out. Yeah, that will help. So back on the page here in Pioneer Library, if you go to that, which I was showing you, right here, there's this online survey that you can do. Okay. So the other thing is an advanced search that you can do over here. So over on the right-hand side, this will take you through a series of questions to help you find what you're looking for. So this is really the only way I know of if you want to find a book in Spanish that you can find it in here. But I'll show you that in a little bit. First, I'll show you just what this search looks like. So we have English, and then we have a various number of ways that we can search for a book. So if you want to do it by brand or publisher or book series, you can find it in here. If you want to do it by Lexile range or grade level or page counts, you can find those in here as well. And also by these various reading programs, you can find a book. So we'll just put brand in here, and we can do a search criteria, and there's all these different brands in here. And then finally, as soon as it feels like you have enough options in there, a search button will come up and let you actually perform a search on it. So based upon what I pick, I get 1 return for Wizard of Oz. So that's what the advanced search is. And if you want to do Spanish, you can also select the Spanish title here. I wish that it would just not have this down here, because now I'm kind of, stuck with something. But we'll just do, book series, and we'll be lucky if this finds them. Okay. I don't know if those were Spanish books. Let's see, brand. Okay, this might be a better search. So this bilingual search here, and then you can find the different books that way. Okay, and then there's kind of 2 other ways. There's the teachers list up at the top here, and this is just categorized by subject area. So if you're doing something on tornadoes for the month or for the week or for the day, you could find books that have to do with tornadoes or any of these other topics in here. Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is if you do find a book that you like, for example, this 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, for example, and we pull this book up, I can also find more books that are like this. So I can click on that, and then it brings me up books that are similar to that. So if you find something that a student likes and you want to find, and they read it, they need a different book that they're going to like, then that would be the best way to find a book there. Okay, so now I'm going to just show you some of the books. I mean, there's a lot in here, so I just picked out kind of a few to show you. So first of all, I was just going to do a visual search going into genres here. And, let me go back. Okay, so you can go into genres and then go into picture books. My wife is a preschool teacher, so I think these books are kind of at my level. And the book that really stood out to me was Krabby Pants, because I think this is me sometimes. And so when we are presented with this page, we have just a short summary of what's it about. We have some reviews, and then we have the info on the book, so you can kind of see the page count. The running time would be the audio running time on it, Lexile level, and all those different details that you need. Okay, this download section you won't be able to access on your computer. just on a mobile device. And if I hit read now, the book's going to come up and I can start the book. And, oh, can you guys hear that sound? No, you can't hear the sound. Okay. Well, so there's like a little tune with, that's playing that sounds like it was on Reading Rainbow or something like that. That's kind of introducing the book. So let's see. Yeah, so how do you read the book without the audio assist on it? So if you don't want the audio assist on it, if you hover your mouse down at the bottom, you can tell it to shush. So you can just push this button here and it will take off that audio. So if you don't want the kids just sitting and relaxing and listening to it, you can turn off the sound. The page turns are pretty simple. You just flip through like this. A lot of these books have beautiful illustrations that I really love to see in these books. And so this book is just talking about this cat. His mom called him Krabby Pants, and he thought it had something to do with the pants. And so he ends up cutting up all the pants in the house so they don't call him Krabby Pants. So that's a fun book. Okay, so yeah. Edith is asking what about all these other buttons down here at the bottom. So just show you a little bit of those. This will take you out of the book. This is just a table of contents of what is in the book, so you can click on that. Oh, this one only has a copyright. Other books have more information than that. So this will have a dictionary. You can either click on this dictionary and look up a word, or the other thing that's neat is you can actually click on like the word waffle, and it will tell you what a waffle is. Now, maybe for a kid this age, it's not, they're not going to use the dictionary, but some of the older kids, it would be very helpful. So any of these words you can just click on, and it's going to bring up the definition of that word. Okay. Copyright information. This just shows you page progress. You can click on this and just kind of see where you're at in the book. You can do a full screen. So if I hit this, let's see if you guys can see my computer screen changes to a full screen. I would definitely recommend that if you're going to have students read. Put them in full screen mode. And escape will take you out. If you press the play button, it will continue the narration on the book. And then the other thing which I'll show you is you can have the words and the sentences highlighted as it's reading. So if I turn on these options and hit play, then you can see that the word in black is the word that it's reading. Okay. So this book doesn't work as well for some reason. It looks like if you do turn sentence on, then it'll highlight the whole sentence. So you can either have it highlight the whole sentence or highlight just the words. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I'll show you, Edith, here just a second, the mobile part of this. Let's see. Yeah. So, and the other thing that I thought was kind of cool is like you can zoom in and out on these books. So I have a magic mouse, so all I'm doing is I'm using the scroll button to zoom in and out. So I think that's a good feature. If you have ADA and you need to get larger size text, then that's going to be very helpful as well. Okay. So I'm not going to show you as many books as I thought that I would show you just because of time constraints. But you can see there's a lot of other fun books in here for different grade levels. If you're looking for something a little bit more, higher level reading, this one was there's some of these popular titles down here. The one that I was going to show you, if I go into the text search here, was Tony Hawk's 900. It says 900 Degree Revolution series. So this one, for example, is for a little bit older age, and it kind of starts looking like a comic book, but it ends up being a chapter book. So it's kind of an intro. And then from there, it kind of turns into, a chapter book. Okay. All right. So I'm going to flip back to my PowerPoint because I had to take some screen captures to show you the iPad piece. So I'm going to show you that and kind of how it works. Okay, so on a mobile device, first of all, you can get this on iPad, Android, or Kindle Fire HD. Make sure if you're looking for the app in the App Store that you're not looking for an iPhone or an iPod Touch because it's not there. It's only for the iPad. You can get it for Android and Kindle Fire HD. So, and then this kind of works like a mini app store. You can download 20 titles for offline reading. So I really love that about the mobile app piece of it. So this is what it would kind of look like on an iPad. So these are books that I've downloaded. You can see the different titles. And if I click that button that's a picture of a book with the plus sign on it, that's going to take me into a section where I can find books to read. And I'll show you that here. But I also wanted to point out that if you download this free app, you're also going to need to log in. So you can see that I have the Utah Reader selected here, and you're going to have to put in the same password. So it prompts me to put in that password. It's not going to stay signed in, so you're going to have to sign in if you get disconnected. Okay. And then, so if you click on adding a book, you can add a book, and then when I press on the book, it's going to kind of just look like this. It's a little bit different than the online piece, but it kind of gives you the summary of the book right here first. Okay, and then this is what the book would look like for the iPad, and it has those same buttons at the bottom that you can see. The one thing I noticed that the iPad app does not have is those search features. So like advanced search, you don't have that ability in there. So you might have to go to the computer to find books using the advanced search rather than using the iPad. You are just going to have kind of the categorical search, but not the advanced search. So, I mean, it's beautiful on the iPad. The illustrations are wonderful. And to turn the pages, you can just flip through the screen. And for me, I think this is the best way for students to experience it. You just feel more connected to the book by having it on an iPad. So the last thing I'm just going to mention is, I had, with my son, parent-teacher conference last night, and he's in 3rd grade, and our teacher is sharing with us kind of where he was in his reading. And I think lots of times for parents is, they might not understand exactly where their kid's at, and they might have a hard time even picking out books for their kids to read. And I really liked how this program helps in the selection of that. So even if the teacher is kind of sharing where the student is, that might not translate to the parents. You can say, well, your student's in kind of this range of book. And then the MyOn app can actually facilitate you finding books that are going to be appropriate for the child. And, it might even be a help for the teacher. And, lots of times the teacher could check out books to the students. But this way, the students has about 4,000 books at their disposal. And I think it just makes the process a lot easier. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today about the MyOn Books. I hope that you go online and that you test it out, download the app and test it out, give some feedback, and I hope you like it. I really think you do. I really think you will. There's been a lot of good feedback on it. So before we end, are there any questions that anyone might have? Okay. Yeah, I don't see any questions, but if you do have any, feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay, thanks, Tim.
Okay, hey, great. Thanks, Justin. Sort of a lot of great resources there, I'd have to say. Very interesting. I'll have to check some of those out. All right, so we're going to wrap up Faculty Lounge for today. Just a little heads up for next week. Next week we have Jared Kovili, who will be presenting about the Adobe Creative Cloud tool, and specifically Photoshop. So he's going to show some new features about that and talk a little bit about some of the changes that Adobe has gone through as far as these tools for our classrooms. So hopefully you can join us then. Thanks, everyone.